Imagine this. Today, I'm having a conversation with two teenagers that built a business selling sneakers, Yeezys and Nikes. £360,000 worth of sales. They've got their first shop open and they're now opening their second shop. It's a profitable business. These are great entrepreneurs. You want to see their website, the branding, it's all on point. They're going to go places. Take a watch. Hello campers, welcome back to the business broadcast. I feel like we've made it now on this podcast because we've finally got someone that sells sneakers.
We've made it. We're cool. We're down with the cool kids.
Yeah, JB joins me again here on the broadcast. I'm James Broadcast on the business broadcast. On the James Sinclair and the James Bird business broadcast. I feel we should co-name it now because you're on it.
Shouldn't we?
Yeah. We call it JJ's.
Can I get my face on the jingle in that?
Yeah, I think we need to sort that out now because we're both on it all the time, aren't we?
We're in a serious podcasting relationship now. We've gone past the dating phase.
Absolutely.
We're into seriousness.
Now, I, like you, have read the book Shoe Dog.
Very good book.
I wonder
if these two have read it.
Well, I've on my James Sinclair letter, which I release 7:00 every single Monday, which
very good.
You can get for free, by the way. You just subscribe to it on my website, jamessinclair.net. I actually wrote an email 3 weeks ago about the top books for entrepreneurs to read.
I saw that one.
Oh, you saw it, yeah. Well, one of them was Shoe Dog, which is by Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and most entrepreneurs have read it. I've read it, but it's also a great listen as well. I think you should listen to it and read it. Like Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson, I think is a great read and a great listen, especially as he reads it. And he's just brought out a updated version of that, which I'm starting as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is Rediscovering My Virginity or something it's called, anyway. But there's also a fabulous podcast that I know both of us listen to called Acquired.
I love that show.
Oh, they're just brilliant, those guys. American venture capitalists, and they done a whole episode on Nike. And there's a part on the Nike on their Nike episode on Acquired about the reseller market in the trainer world.
That's right, yeah.
And something that was really cool that Nike have done is Nike could definitely sell a £2,000 trainer.
Yeah.
And people would buy it.
Yeah.
But they don't. They let people like our guests inflate the value.
Yeah.
Similarly to Rolex. I've got Rolex. You buy this one, I know it's £11,250 from Rolex. It's only ever £11,250. But you can actually go and pay more from it from a reseller if you want it straight away.
Yeah, that's right.
So
how long were you on the waiting list for it? 18 months?
Well, I didn't buy it from. I'm on the list for Rolex now. I paid the premium for it.
Oh, did you? You went to the reseller?
Yeah, absolutely, okay. Yeah. So I'm still on the Rolex list. I haven't had the call, but people buy them knowing that they can sell them for more straight away. And it's very clever that Nike have adopted that policy.
Yeah.
Too. So you can buy a pair of Nikes, their top one, for £300, and if that's valuable in the reseller market, they sell it for 1,000, 2,000, and people are collecting them.
That's
people
it.
It's a big marketplace.
I think it's amazing also for culture because there's like sneakerheads. It's like a whole subculture of a culture, which is how, if you think about what Nike is, it's now a 50, 60-year-old running trainer brand created by one middle-aged white dude out of Oregon in the States for running around a track faster. And then it was, developed with like the waffle sole and all that sort of stuff. But it was a training shoe. It was a proper training shoe. Whereas now it's a fashion item. It is a piece of culture. And I think that by letting people play their role in it, like I say, by them not doing the one-off pieces, or I guess we're saying that they do like raffles. So they're going to say, right, we're only going to do 1,000 of these, and then their top buyers will get them, and then they'll hold on to them, and then the resale, it's like art in a way, isn't it? It's worth what the perception that someone will pay for it, which is fantastic, which is probably how, a 60-year-old company still feels as fresh today as it always did.
And it's funny, these Yeezys, these Air Jordans, the Nikes, and some of the New Balance traits, they are highly desirable amongst some young people, aren't they? They really want that particular one.
See, New Balance was like a cheapo trainer when we were kids, wasn't it?
I love New Balance trainers now, not them ones. I'm looking, but just before I'm looking on, if you're watching on YouTube, we're on their website. I think we just need to give some credit where credit's due. These guys, certainly Ben, who we've spoken to, gives me massive faith in the future of the UK economy if we're producing YBTs, Young Bright Things like this. The branding
Yeah.
that they have obviously put this all together is fantastic.
It's really good, isn't it?
Like really, really. I mean, it is so blatantly obvious that they're going to go far because if they've they're accepting Amex, Apple Pay. They're doing pay over 3. They've opened their first shop. All the things that would scare people.
20 years old, this kid. 20 years old. Just 20. And his business partner is 18.
Yeah. So really they're teenagers that, they've only, it is just a massive round of applause. I think we should give them the jingle. It's that.
I think so. It's only been dished out a couple of times. There you go. The jingle round of applause.
Branding's on point. Website's on point.
And the social media is banging. And I'm trying to sound cool now. I'm saying things like banging. It's banging.
You've got to go and check them out, guys. The company's called Perfect.
Perfect. Even the name's good.
Yeah. PAIRFECT.
As in a pair of shoes. Perfectfootwear.co.uk is the website. And you can find them on socials as well. But what I think was really interesting is that when we were chatting to Ben before, he said, we're only sort of 18 months in, but I've been doing this for a while. He's 20. Been doing this for a while. He's been doing this and reselling since he was 14. And this is, again, what I think is part of this massive sneaker culture is that people will get into it for a few $100s or a few £100. And they'll start because they're passionate about the thing. They're passionate about the fashion item. And then they realise, you could turn a couple of quid here. So then they turn their passion into profit. And if you can do that and enjoy what you do, you're off to the races. Here's an interesting thing though, right? So I was reading 50 Cent's book, which you might be like, what? The rapper guy? What is it? What are you
I've
doing?
heard great things about this.
It's amazing. The book is absolutely fantastic. He's got a kid who's probably, I guess, would be mid-20s. And he said he wanted to support his son. He's got a very sort of fractious relationship with the son. Anyway, the son came to him with a guy who owned a retail shop, very similar to this, a trainer reselling business. Came to him and said, look, we're going bust. Would you want to buy it? He's very entrepreneurially minded, 50 Cent. He's a very, very smart guy. Worth an absolute fortune, and not just for the music. He's got lots of intellectual property that he owns. Anyway, he said, I'm never going to give my kid money. Because he's from the streets. He basically sold drugs to make his first money. He's like, I think kids have got to learn to make their own money and stand on their own 2 feet. I'm not going to raise a rich kid. He said, but what I will do is I'll give him a leg up. So I said to this training company, I think they had 2 or 3 stores in New York. And he said, I don't want the business, but I want the stock. And I'll buy the stock for the price that you've paid for it. So what's it worth? It was like $250,000. So he gave $250,000 worth of stock to his kid, and he did nothing with it. You just think that people would get handed that $250,000 opportunity because the kid had a level of entitlement that actually my dad's 50 Cent. He should just gift me the next step. Whereas you got kids like this who are passionate about the thing, 18 and 20 years old and opening shops.
But that is very true of history.
Yeah.
Only 10% of wealth gets to the 4th generation. First generation
first makes it.
Second generation maintains it. Third generation loses it. And that's why only 10% of wealth gets to the 4th generation. You can't, I think 50 Cent needs to understand there that just because he's entrepreneurial and a creator and in the top 10% of the population that is driven doesn't mean that his children will be.
No, clearly not.
And it's difficult that.
Well, hopefully that little clip will make its way to 50 Cent and he can respond.
It is difficult. I mean, I would love nothing more than my children to be, driven and do stuff, but I don't think.
I would love to see you do an interview with someone like 50 Cent. Because they're obviously very business minded, but you're very. I'd love.
Well, let's see if it happens.
If you know someone who knows 50 Cent and they could get him on the podcast, then feel free.
I am reading a book at the moment called Driven.
Who's that by?
It's an audio book by a doctor.
Oh, okay.
And I've always been fascinated. Like there's a local aquarium by us in Southend called Sea Life Adventure or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's an ant thing in there with 10,000 ants in there. And I've always been fascinated. Why do ant colonies only have enough workers, one queen, enough doing this and enough doing that, enough cleaners and all of that? Anyway, this doctor has written this book called Driven. And he has seen a similarity between entrepreneurs, high-level athletes, Navy SEALs, and the SAS. And it's a personality DNA type. About 10% of the population are driven. And going back 10,000 years ago, they would have been the hunters in the tribe. They're often now labelled as ADHD, workaholics, all of these neuro sort of labels. Yeah. But there is only just enough of them that, and there's a big thing in there about Elon Musk, sold PayPal, and then just the next day went again. But he hasn't actually got a choice because it's his DNA.
His DNA, right? Yeah.
He can, he's selling PayPal for billions, and then starting Tesla and SpaceX literally straight away
day after
is not how most people think. But the driven in our population, they can't help it.
You must have that, I reckon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sampled your blood 10,000 years ago.
Here's the thing about this, right? A sample of your blood, that's an interesting thing because the Navy SEALs are going to start testing people to see if they have these DNA types before saying, well, look, I'm afraid, you're
rhesus negative. You ain't going to make it.
So
you ain't driven enough.
Let's not put you through this because we don't think.
And really?
So yeah, it's really. I'm only sort of a third of the way through the book, but
that's interesting
because he's a doctor and he's backing it all up with science and data.
Yeah.
And then so I done a podcast. I went on someone else's podcast called Simon Squibb, who's literally gone from zero to hero.
Yeah.
He's got 7 million social media followers in 18 months. And he's going around London and cities and asking people their dream.
I like what he does. I think it's great. Very opinionated.
What's your dream?
Yeah.
What's your dream? And people just come up and tell him his dream. And anyway, it's seriously entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
So me and Chuds comes with me to get some snippets of him interviewing me.
Where'd you go? Down to his gaff? Down in Kent?
Yeah. And Chuds went, he's got it, hasn't he? Chuds can see the serious entrepreneur traits now, the flippant going backwards to forwards, multiple things going on at the same time. His house, he's got a TV person waiting for him to be interviewed. He's interviewing me in his studio. He's got 8 staff in his kitchen all trying to play. It is chaos.
Yeah, runs it out of the house as well though, doesn't he?
Yeah. But as soon as he's finished with me, he's on to the next thing. It's the sort of thing my wife just hates. Just but he wants to cram in as much, and he's having multiple conversations. He's having a conversation with me, but also seeing what's going on over there. If you study entrepreneurs, I do that.
Yeah,
I am multi-spinny plates, and Chud sees it now because he's one of the rare people. Chud's he's been and met so many entrepreneurs with me, and he sees the high-level ones have some real similarities.
Yeah.
It is strange. And I now, because I've done lots of interviews with them, I also recognise it.
Yeah.
I go to this dinner thing, that I do once a month.
Yeah.
Most of the people in that room do not drink.
Yeah.
So many entrepreneurs are teetotal, including myself. Most of them self-admittedly say they've got ADHD or there's something going on. And they're like wearing it with a badge of pride. And it's just strange.
I think you can spot it very quickly in people as well.
Only once you know. You will be able to.
Yeah. But you can just spot it. You can go, they've got it.
Because they can just...
They've got it.
It's doing the multiple things and not stopping.
I think also with that sort of driven gene, I think there's lots of people that I see now, have conversations with now, who haven't got it but want to force it upon themselves.
Oh yeah.
I really want this. I really want this. Like you actually don't.
No.
You actually don't. As soon as it gets difficult, you are going to stop.
Yeah. Well,
that's not a negative thing, but
in this book here, they talk about, it's really interesting putting entrepreneurs and high-level athletes and Navy SEALs, puts them all into the same group.
Yeah.
There's huge similarities where that unbelievable amounts of hunger to succeed, like have this knock, have this punch and just get back up and go.
Yeah.
I think about this at the time of recording this, the Euros are on. We're recording this on the 2nd of July. And everyone
before we've won it, putting it out to universe. Before England have brought it home.
Yeah. So I think they're going into the quarterfinals. We don't know the results yet. And they're getting slagged off, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're winning
with justifiable
by the skin,
reason. Yeah.
by the skin of their teeth. And I just think, I would just think, well, I know I wouldn't because I'm like them, but I think most people think, no, I'm not turning up for the next match. Everyone having a go at me in the press.
Yeah.
Everyone, I mean, everywhere they go.
Yeah.
The pressure.
Yeah.
That pressure of having 65 million people in your country just score the goal. What's wrong with you?
The maddest thing is that everyone's slagging them off and they're still winning.
Yeah.
They're still winning. Like normally by this point in time, if you've been an England fan for a long time, you're out by this point. And so you've slagged them off with justifiable reason. But I played awful in the group, won it. Came out, played awful in that game the other night, won it.
Yeah, but
which they did, but they, like I say, they just will.
But they've got that hunger, haven't they, to carry on, and that nothing will stop them.
To your point, though, actually, if you look at someone like and not to get all footbally about it, you look at Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham got really annoyed in that game with the fans.
Yeah.
And he ran over, he celebrated the goal, and he was going like that to the England fan. He's riling up the England fans. I'm like, oh, that's a dangerous move. But he's so passionate and so driven, he just wants a result. And he's like, come on, get behind us.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got a lot of sort of not mediocre players, because they're obviously the top echelons of what they do. Yeah. But they would never go up against like the crowd or whatever. But that's probably why like someone like a Jude Bellingham will probably end up being one of the best footballers this country has ever created.
Yeah.
Because in a world of the driven, he is the drivenest, if that was a real world.
Yeah, and top level politicians, I mean, you're going into a game where you're going to be hated.
Yeah.
Don't go there. No, but I mean, I just think like, you cannot win in that game, can you?
No. So why would you even go into it?
Because they're driven.
Yeah.
There's only enough people that go, do you know, I don't mind doing that job for 5 years and be slagged off and hated and not be able to do anything and just the world at me all the time. But entrepreneurs are the same, and I predict this of our guest today. I mean, this is someone or a group of two guys that are just going to go somewhere. I mean, this looks like a website that's been put together by someone that really knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hey gang, we're going back to the pod in just a moment, but I wanted to tell you about Entrepreneurs University. This is a platform that I've created for entrepreneurs and business owners that are serious about growth. There's 100 video lessons from me on everything in business, raising finance, buying companies, property investment, and everything in between. Attached to each video is a downloadable PDF that goes into more detail about what we've learned in the video. It goes one step further than that because I've also put stuff that you won't get anywhere else onto Entrepreneurs University. The lessons go into way more detail, but not just that. You're going to get my business plans, my spreadsheets, and all the files that I use to drive the KPIs in my business. Just think about how powerful that could be for your business. And here's the good news. You can try Entrepreneurs University for free. 14-day free trial. After that, it will cost you just $49.99 a month. That's less than a pair of Nikes to grow the profitability in your business. There's a link in the video description, and I cannot wait to see you in Entrepreneurs University. Let's get him on.
Shall we? Let's get him on. Ben, you've had enough praise. Is your head big enough to walk through the door still at this point, the metaphorical door? How are you, sir?
Well, he's not here with us, so...
That's why I'm on. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, we've got you now. Now, so you're obviously from Glasgow. I think we can hear that by your accent there. It's a fascinating story. I love this. And before we came on and had the pre-chat, I said to you, did you used to sell sweets at school? So that was the gateway for you. You're a typical entrepreneur. What made you get into partnership with someone?
So what it was, we'd both been doing it individually, but working with each other for quite some years. So like we'd both go to the same events, go to different releases together, but then it got to the point where both our bedrooms were just full of trainers and we were best pals realistically. So let's partner together and get it going.
So when you say that we've been working together but independently, like what does that work for someone like me who is, as you can tell if you watch the videos, not that fashion forward? What? Just leave it, all right? I get online bullied about my clothing most of the time. But go on, have one free on the house.
He does look like a dad at a school fete.
I've been to a school fair the weekend and I'm a dad, so there you go. I'm on brand. So what does the work look like when you're saying like we're going to releases and stuff?
Can we just ask you, Ben, do you stock any Next products? Because that's...
Unfortunately not, mate. Unfortunately not.
Do you have any Michael Fracklewick material?
Oh, dear.
Inside joke there. So when you go to like a release or you say that you're doing the work with this business partner, what's your business partner called? Because otherwise we're just going to...
It's Jack.
Jack. Let's talk about Jack as if he's a real person, because he is. So when you and Jack are doing that work together for like when you're 16, 17, what does that look like? What are you doing to find these limited run pairs of shoes and stuff?
So you try to source products like this. They do have like sort of release dates, and because they're all so limited, you would most of the time queue outside shops. So we would be sitting outside a shop from like 5 o'clock the day before. So you're doing like overnight shifts.
No, really?
Yeah, genuinely. So it's just obviously you get talking to everybody around you, but we just started doing it together and then traveling the country and sourcing these pairs.
So how do you find out where they're... So I'm guessing, again, because they're limited runs, they're not going, oh, right, we're going to stick them into every JD Sports. It's going to be like niche retailers and they've got a limited amount of pairs and you can only buy one pair per person who's been in the queue. Is it that kind of vibe?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Nike Tier 0 retailers. So there's only like a few of those in Britain.
And what are they called? Tier 0?
Yeah, so it's like the highest. The sort of highest
even that's cool. It's so high. The tier is so high. It's nothing. It's literally nothing.
So I'm trying to say a Tier 0 retailer wouldn't be a JD Sports.
No, definitely not. There's some ones so JD Sports, I believe that's their Tier 3 maybe.
So what would you guys be classed as? Are you in a tier?
Nah, we're not on a tier, unfortunately. We're just independently run.
Okay, I reckon after they hear this podcast, I reckon you'll get some Tier 0 status. So what would be a Tier 0? Like where would it be like a one-off bespoke place in Chelsea or something like that? Something really fancy where they can get that higher price point?
Have you heard of N Clothing, stuff like that?
No, absolutely not. You're talking to two middle-aged guys.
I've not heard of it.
They've still got the End, and they've got a store in Glasgow and Newcastle, London, but they've even those sort of places don't even get that many pairs when they release it. So like 10, 15 at a time.
Right.
And then so if you buy a pair for what, 150 quid, or is it more usually?
It varies quite a bit.
But say you did buy a pair, let's get to, for the maths simple, you bought a pair for 200, what would you then go on to sell it for?
So we usually try to add 30%, but we do keep it sort of in line with the market. So if we get a better price, we'll put it under market, or there's like a sort of stock market with the limited products where it'll fluctuate, or with demand it'll go up, and obviously over time supply will drive up. So that'll sort of create.
Interesting. I mean, from my point of view, that is quite low gross profit. So you've got to sell some, haven't you, to make money as soon as overheads kick in with store rents, business rates. Exactly. So you do need to, but you are selling the volume. I mean, as soon as they come in, they go, do they?
Yeah, pretty much. Because there's already sort of demand for the shoes. So we're more than just a store as well. We offer like a service. So that's why we can charge that extra bit.
I mean, I've got so many ways that I think I want to help you to grow your business. There's something that I want to just talk to you about, though. You and Jack, you're all friends at the moment. I think it's really important, because I've worked with loads of people that are in partnerships. You know, you're both very young. You should come up with a shareholders agreement now on your exit plan, because you won't want to be partners forever. You might be the exception, but most of the time the rule is partnerships fall apart. 10-20% survive. So you need to come up with a shareholders agreement now whilst it's in its infancy and you're all friends. And you want to get that committed to paper. I urge you to do that with every part of my being.
Okay.
And hopefully when Jack listens to this, I'm telling this for both of you. As a strong piece of advice. Decide on what you need to, if one of you wants to get out and the other one wants to keep in, agree on that now, because you might not need it for 5 years. I mean, the perfect thing is you go and sell this business and you both share the money equally. But actually that's not always what happens. And one of you might want to stay in. So you want to get all of your shareholders agreement agreed right now. And if your accountant could probably help you do that.
Right, okay.
But
it's understandable.
It's just basically, if one of you wants to stay and one of you wants to exit, you don't want to be, you need to have like a Russian roulette system where if he offers you £1, you can say, well, no, I'll offer you £1. And so that there definitely needs to be some thought around that. And I don't want to put too many ideas into your mind here on the podcast, but it should be done now, not in the future.
No, I agree. To be honest, it does need to get concrete before.
Well, he can listen. Yeah, when you listen to, I'm sure he'll listen to this podcast when it comes out, and I urge you both to do that. I really, really, really do. Have you read the book Shoe Dog, by the way?
Yeah, I've given it a listen. It's excellent.
Yeah, good. Also, listen to the Acquired podcast around Nike, I think, because there's a good section on there about the reseller community. There's two things that I think, if this was my business, I would do. Number one, I think it's brilliant as a membership model business where people pay a membership to get the early release when you've got stuff on sale, especially as you build up more and more reputation. So people could pay £100 a year to be on a gold waiting list, or £1,000 a year, whatever it is, and you limit the amount of people on that membership.
Right, okay.
And they get
like a sort of first dibs or
absolutely
access.
Yeah. But what that gives you is massive margin. So if you get £10,000 a year on membership, that's £10,000 a year of profit. And making your customers feel like members is something that is just amazing. Because what I don't like about this is you're only making 30% gross profit. And I've got an idea on that as well. If you look at the Netflix model from back in the day, Netflix never used to make any of their own content. They didn't. They used to buy other people's content. And they built up a strong database on that. And then as time trundled on and they were bringing up income, they then now make their own content. And arguably Stranger Things is one of the best TV story programs, successful programs ever made. And I'm trying to think of other Netflix shows that are just astonishing, like Stranger Things, and none of them are coming to my mind right now. But there are others. But the point is, they didn't used to make their own content. They do now. They used to buy Disney, Warner Brothers, Universal, and build a customer base, which you're doing right now. But in the future, I would definitely consider making small runs of your own collectible stuff and selling it for, once you've got a big database.
Nice.
And then sometimes maybe buying it back and then reselling it for more again, so that you create your own economy. Within the
ecosystem.
Yeah. And I'm, if you sell a t-shirt for £300, and then buy it back for £500, that doesn't take long for that sort of stuff to spread. And then, and you limit the supply.
Keep it nice and close knit.
Yeah, Supreme done this so well, didn't they? Do you remember? I don't know. Are they still going Supreme?
Yeah, they're still massive.
Yeah, because they're very good at that, aren't they? And I think, and then the last point, you absolutely should make a podcast and a YouTube channel for the collector market space, reviewing products and predicting where the price is going to be, and then saying on there, if you've got any stuff you want to sell, think of us and we, come and see us and we'll sell your items for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've been doing the TikToks and stuff like that, but it's putting yourself out there in front of the camera. It's a tough one, especially up in Glasgow.
Wow. I mean, it will make so much money for your, you can maybe do 3, get a girl, so it's 2 guys and a girl, and you're reviewing stuff, and so that it's not all on one person, but I mean, making content for this space, reviewing stuff. There must be people doing that and have built huge followings from it.
Yeah, definitely is.
Because most of you said that most if not all of your traffic is coming via your socials at the moment anyway. So you know that it's already working anyway, to be fair, and that's without you putting the great thing about like a YouTube channel, for example, is that it will give you that longer form content will mean that you could probably pull, 10 micro clips out of that and turn that into sub content. It just make your content making process so much easier, and that whole thing of like getting on camera, that it's not as easy as doing sort of faceless TikTok stuff, which is why not everybody does it, which is almost an unfair advantage. Plus the fact that you've got you and Jack, you're both young, you're both into the scene, you're both from where you're from. It's a difference point. It's not a New York or a London based brand that you've got. I think you make really cool point of difference
in the shop. The shop is the
100%.
studio. Absolutely.
Then people want to come just to be in the have behind. I'll tell you who's done it a really good job. It's worth checking out. It's called Fellas Studios. They're a podcast production company, but they've just started doing a weekly vlog, and all they started to do was they had cameras on all the time, 24/7 in their studio.
Yeah, so
all the time.
Currently we are like fully organic. We don't do PPC or anything like that. So we're doing.
What's great about this is content reviews, and you just even stuff you don't sell well. We've managed to borrow this rare and protected trainer. What do you think about it, guys? What value do you think it is? So you can do that with the audience, guess the value, then reveal it at the end. If you can put a game into your content, that really does keep people watching. We do that with our podcast. Really, the 8 Traits, the Greats is a little game that people can guess at home to what we're going to say, and we're trying to interweave that into our content.
Yeah, with the second store opening, we are already doing like behind the scenes of getting it set up, like going through like the launch and stuff like that. So we are doing behind the scenes filming. We're going to get that launched.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. Also, with that behind the scenes stuff, I think you'll find such a great. We talked before we sort of hit the record button. Jim said he went, more established business owners will love this episode because people want to support young entrepreneurs like you, like people like us who've been around the block a little bit. You just hear this, you're like, oh, good on them. You really just want them to win. So I think you have that demographic that will want to support you. Like, your bank manager might find out about you. Might just open some doors you couldn't even imagine. Plus, for the actual market that's going to buy your stuff, imagine they've watched this whole behind the scenes. They've watched these 2 cool kids create this second store. They've been through the heartache of it. They've seen the late night painting the shop yourselves because you haven't got the cash flow to do it with anybody else, and you bought the wrong trainer, and then all of a sudden the next one's a real hit, and then they get to come into the shop and then they feel like they're part of something. It's just such a great,
we know it works.
That's exactly that. We have been doing all the late night stuff, but we've also like sort of built a community while doing it. So we're making all the content personal, and like you get to know us. We've done that from sort of day one, but hopefully the videos will like pursue that a bit more.
Yeah, it's cracking. Right, you had some questions that you wanted to ask James, but I think you've changed your questions, haven't you? Do you want to chuck some questions in our direction, and then we'll see how we can support? I say we. Jimbo's going to answer them all for you.
So the first one's about marketing. So currently we're fully organic through socials or just like our clients from the past. Would you suggest taking on a PPC agency or just learn it ourselves?
No, at this stage, I would be making YouTube and podcasts and really mastering content marketing. And I don't think you've got the gross profit enough. Once you've paid, sorry about that. I don't know if because you've only got 30% gross profit margin on the stuff you're selling. Once you paid the PPC, you're not really making any money. Now, if you're doing it and they're buying from you again and again and again, arguably you say, well, that's all right because there's good lifetime value. But I think you would get great returns on doing content marketing. And anyone that does content marketing in the collector space, whether it's watches, stamps,
trains, cars,
sneakers, cars is another great one. There is a huge audience that want to consume content because they want to know people's opinions of the space. I mean, I would definitely be doing a newsletter as well, like writing emails every single week and putting it on Medium. Putting it on Medium, your thoughts, and so that you become a thought leader within this space. I mean, you're 20 now. Imagine if you do that consistently for 10 years. By the time you're 30, you know, people will be inviting you on their podcasts. I think it's great you've got an accent. You will, if you get you onto an American podcast, like they'll be like, oh my God, this the Scottish guy, you know, all of this stuff is a win-win, you know. But we get that, you know, English people get that as well, you know. Oh, it's a Brit, you know, sounds so strange, and they're on a British podcast, on an American podcast, and we want to lap all that up. And the way you lap all that up is make the content. I mean, you're going to be rubbish as well for the first 100 videos and 100 podcasts, but once you get over it, it'll be great. And just review, and you're so lucky you can just review stuff and give your opinion, and it's your opinion. And hopefully if you can get Jack on there and Jack doesn't like something and you like something, you know, that'd be great as well. I was listening to a talk radio show that I listen to every single morning, Nick Ferrari on LBC. He's a master of audio communication. Like, he's unbelievable. And it was, you know, we got a politics coming up, and one of the persons said they won't work past 6 o'clock, which Nick Ferrari doesn't agree with, but he's only allowing people on for a whole hour to come onto the show, the people that disagree with him.
Yeah.
And there's loads of people that agree with him. And he actually said on there, he said, I'm not having anyone come on the radio station that agrees with me, because that doesn't make good radio. People want to listen to me have an argument with someone. And I thought, do you know what? He's so right.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you can have disagreements and, you know, have a controversial view. I mean, it's only trainers. I mean, you're not, you know, you can say, I don't like these Yeezys. I think they're rubbish. I think the quality's rubbish. They're not as good as they used to be. Whatever it is, I don't know.
You could be doing 3 to 5 of these every single day, and then you could also, you could get people in the store. If you and Jack have got like the new Yeezys coming, I hate it. He thinks it's brilliant. Here's why the sole is rubbish. Look at it. The colour doesn't work. We're going to ask someone in the store today, and you get 3 or 4 of your clients and just go, what do you think about it? Oh yeah, we absolutely love it. Oh, I've already got a pair of these. Yeah, I bought some from you before. Then you make your community part of your content as well. And
then what do you think they're going to be worth in 5 years' time? And then write it down. Then in 5 years' time, you said that this is what we thought they were worth. What are they worth?
Yeah.
You know, like stuff like that. Because if you can make it so it's all dressed around good, cool content, but also there's an investment arm to it. What is this going to be worth in the future? Oh, yeah. People will be... What's Antiques Roadshow, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, you are the modern day version of Antiques Roadshow. You know, people are watching it. Antiques Roadshow is a game show. Everyone's playing at home. What's it going to be worth? You know, it's going to be worth this. It's going to be...
It's one of the top 10 most popular shows in the country still. Antiques Roadshow on a Sunday night. The ratings are nuts.
Because it's a game show. Yeah. Where people at home are guessing what it's going to be worth.
The content's really easy for you guys to do as well in this instance, but I think you could do it so well. Like some of the photos that you got of like just bunches of like the red colorway Nikes, it just looks brilliant, and it's just photos of shoes.
And the other thing as well, I mean, you could start, you know, doing gifting on there, like just hit in the comments below and you've got a chance to win.
What,
you know, whoever gives us the best.
Share this out.
Yeah. I mean, you could smash content. I mean, look, if you've built that website, I mean, can I just say, did you have any help with that website? Have you decided all that and built that? It's all on Shopify, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all on Shopify. I've done it all myself.
Well done, mate. I mean, look.
Appreciating it.
You are going to go far. Any other questions?
One about staffing. So currently, the both of us have like sort of client lists. It's people that we've like personally built a relationship with over like sort of last 18 months. But with this second store, we're going to need to employ staff. So how do we move away from the client list, or how do we get the new staff involved in that sort of ecosystem?
Well, that's a great thing about content marketing. Once you've built loads of content marketing, you can ask your followers who wants to come work for you. It'd be a great recruitment tool as well, especially as you build it up. The question is, why do you want to build another store? Do you think you're going to make a lot more money, or is it ego?
But it's in a better location, so it's in a big shopping centre. And over Christmas we had a 7-week unit over there, and it done amazing. So we're going to take that on full time.
I would personally, I think you're going to have those not all sales need to come via a client list. You will have, especially if you're in a better footfall location, you have, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you'll do loads of trade almost accidentally because people walk past and go, oh, I want that pair of trainers. Yeah. They might not be like proper sneakerheads. They just think, oh, that's cool. That's going to look nice. I'm going to go in and buy it. But what you could have, and what I would suggest that you have, is almost, what do you call it? Like a PDA thing? Like a little, like, so when people scan the codes and stuff, if you go to like the cheap shoe shops, they just go, oh yeah, we've got 3 of them available, I'll go and get it from you out the back. Obviously you guys are not doing that, but if somebody comes in and they can't find the thing that they're looking for, I think you want to train your staff, more than just, what sort of shoe and what sort of size, get really specific. Or what is it you're looking for? Oh, I really like the Air Jordans. Or what sort of colours do you like? I really like the green ones. Oh, actually, start them to build up a relationship. But then in a database, if you get it set up the right way, you could have the name, their email address, their size, the colours that they're looking for, their favourite brands. So when you get those things in, you could email blast your database, but only hit up the right people. Hey guys, I know that you've mentioned in store, when you've popped into store before, you mentioned to one of our team that you're looking for Air Jordans that are green. We've got a limited run of 5 pairs that are coming in. Let us know if you want to put aside a pair for you. Like, you can make it feel quite personalised, but at more of a scale, I think, because obviously that whole, you guys, you and Jack love doing this, which is why you've got client bases. This is why you don't mind exchanging time for money, and you probably talk about this stuff as your hobby as well as your job anyway, so it doesn't matter. But when staff are coming in, they're getting paid X amount per hour, you're not going to get the same level of love necessarily for the job. You'd hope that you would, but I think you got to train them to scale up that almost that client relationship.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Makes a lot of sense. Can't we thought like what we're doing, we can point like people in the right direction, what to do, and if they're after something specific, we can like source it in. But what you're saying about the sort of database with, it's easy to implement it with staff.
One of the other things, I agree with all that, by the way. One of the things that I would do if I had this shop, because you're selling quite exclusive stuff, it's all about what do people think. I would get someone to stand outside of the front of the shop with sunglasses on and an earpiece and look like security guards of high value jewels.
That's good.
Just to get them to stand, because people will talk about that.
100%.
About why is that security guard?
Saturday afternoons when you launch, like someone who's massive as well, like proper scary.
Yeah, just, but with sunglasses on so you can't see their eyes. And it's obvious they've got an earpiece on and they're like always buzzing the next customer in. I think
that would be cool.
The reason I say that is I was in St Albans recently. I was on Simon Squibb's podcast, and on the way back we stopped in Tunbridge Wells. You been to Tunbridge Wells?
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh my God, it's so lovely.
Yeah, it's nice down there.
Anyway, we walked past, we parked up and we went to the Ivy Brasserie for lunch. Very delicious. We had a shepherd's pie. That was delicious, me and Chuds. Anyway, so I walked past this very black shop and there was a security guard outside it, and I was like, that is so strange to see that on a high street. And he had the earpiece in and sunglasses, and it was just a jewellery shop. Now,
high-end jewellers, yeah.
It was a high-end jewellers of another proportion, because they sold just diamonds and Patek Philippe watches.
Okay,
and I was a Patek Philippe registered dealer. But I only noticed it because of the security guard.
Yes.
The security guard was an advert to say, this is an unusual shop, take notice. Now, I think they've done that for insurance purposes, because their insurers have said, look, there's 50 million quid's worth of gear in this shop, and it was unbelievable. But for me, it was a signal that there's something unusual here. And anything you can do like that in retail is really important.
Great shout.
Just see if it affects, do it for one day and see if it affects the sales.
Yeah.
It definitely will get people, wait a sec, WH Smiths haven't got this. What's going on here?
Yeah, no security guard at Sports Direct, is there?
I mean, the royal family have been doing this for years. That's why they put people in them horse guard parade outfits just standing outside the palaces. People take pictures of them. It's so unusual. If you can do something like that, Harrods have been doing that. They put that, like what you dressed up for our podcast show, in a green suit with a top hat. People notice it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's hardly anyone does it, and that's one of the big tips for being in business. Be unusual in a very usual world, and and often, the difference between good and great is just 10% more effort. And if you can just do 10% more than everyone else, you'll be shocked at just what can happen. Any other questions?
The last question was just a sort of general opinion on what you would do next, but I think that's been answered with the
if it was my business, I wouldn't be scaling up loads and loads of shops. I would try and keep that exclusive as much as possible. I would be, if this was my business, I would have a content marketing strategy first, building a membership, making you as exclusive as possible, where people have to travel to get to you. And when they travel to get to you, they're always in a mindset spending more money. For example, that jewelry shop in Tunbridge Wells, if I said to my wife, we're going here today, that is a journey to spend money.
Yeah.
That's kind of lots of it. Already. So we have people coming from all over the place. So we'll have people travelling across Glasgow, sometimes from Edinburgh, just for us. So we've done that quite successfully already.
Yes, and that's because it's exclusive and it's rare, you know, and
your second location is not going to be that though, is it? If it's got a big footfall shopping centre, it's got pros and cons to both, hasn't it? Because you're going to get a lot more, you're going to get a lot more visibility, but equally it'll be a lot more commonplace.
Yeah,
walk that tightrope of availability and exclusivity.
Because people want to buy when they can't buy.
Yeah,
and that's why this marketplace does well.
Yeah,
and why the price keeps going up over time is because
it's genuine scarcity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, people were paying £1,000 to go and see Taylor Swift, and the sub-ticket price was £156. People paying that much more over the odds
because they're scarce
and because they couldn't buy it. So therefore, I'll just keep paying more and more until I get it.
Well, we think you're onto great things, young man. I say that as a middle-aged guy who's literally twice your age. Where can people find out more about you guys?
So check out perfectfootwear.co.uk or at perfect.uk on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok.
Do you follow me on Instagram?
Yes.
Oh, good.
That was a no.
Subscribe on YouTube and Spotify.
Oh, please, just Spotify, JB. Are you
younger,
please?
Told you, see, younger.
Please message me on Instagram. I just want to say hello to you, like on the DMs. I'd love to. It's James Sinclair, Entrepreneur. Brilliant. You're amazing. Thanks for being on, mate.
Got a lot of work to do now.
Yeah,
Cheers.
you have.
Good stuff. Good on you, Ben. Thank you for being on the show, mate.
Shareholders agreement with Jack.
Thank you.
Cheers for being on, mate. Wow. How cool was that, eh?
I liked him.
I can't wait to see where that guy is in a year's time. 2 years time. Imagine when he's 30. He's 20 years old and he's opening shop number 2.
Just got it. Just got it.
Do you think, right, that you've either got it or you haven't?
I think you could. I think if you're driven and you're hungry, I didn't used to. This is now since reading that book.
Has it changed your opinion? That's a sign of a good book. And a sign of an open mind is one that's willing to be changed.
Yeah. You should always have your mind changed by fact. I mean, I do think I behave and think differently to most people. So maybe there is something.
And you can't teach that. You can teach the skill set, couldn't you? You could teach the skill set, but that willingness to, like with you, for example, like the willingness to just roll the dice again and to put the PG on the house and to, I'm going to go and buy you, show me something that you're potentially buying down the road. Well, you just bought this. Like buying this place that we're currently sat in, that would be enough for most people, wouldn't it? Not,
6 months ago we've done that.
5 times the space over there and I could do this, that and the other. And I think you can teach there's probably lots of tactics that you've learned.
Yeah, I mean, look,
you could deploy your playbook, but you can't deploy your mentality.
Yeah, that's I think a very good way of, you can sharpen the saw. Yeah, you can.
But you've got to want to use it to cut something.
Yeah.
God, that's a shit analogy, but
yeah, I think some people, that if you're hungry and driven, and then you can learn more skills.
But you've got to be hungry and driven, haven't you, in the first place? Right, you can't teach, can you?
If you like being on stage and you want to sing, and then you get a coach to make your singing better, or you like music and then you get a coach to teach you to play the piano better, and you learn and learn and learn and do more and more. I do believe there's something to that, but there has got to be a base desire. And I think that's the bit that people are forgetting. Yes, you can learn any skill, but you've got to have a desire Like if you want to be a doctor, there's got to be a desire to help people and fix people and
you can't teach
go
that,
through
can you?
years of education before you can do it well enough on your own.
So you can't teach it, but you can. I guess you could force it. You know, it's very sort of prevalent in Asian culture, for example. You know, it's notorious for doctors, dentists, a lawyer. That's kind of the
only 10% of them though.
Yeah, but it's
the 10% that we see, which are immigrant entrepreneurs or immigrant people. You think about that? Someone that's prepared to leave the country they live in, that first family member, and say, let's just leave all of our roots, start
and all
again
of our security,
in another
stability,
country. Let's leave all of our connections. That is rare. Not many people will do that. But because we've seen those immigrants come in and build successful lives, we just
think it's normal and commonplace.
And I've been to those countries, and it's not most people like that. It's just the ones that we see as immigrant successful people. Yeah. And that's why immigrant entrepreneurs, are just so successful, because they've
got a different mindset.
Yeah, I think I've said it so many times on the pod, and people leaving their country and just starting again elsewhere. That is some balls.
Yeah. Should we rate him before we leave?
I'm very much looking forward to rating him.
Right, you give everyone the big upsell on what
I tell you, in 10 years' time, he's going to be an 8, but let's see where he is now. So, ladies and gents, if you are new to the podcast, or if you're a seasoned listener, you will now know that we do the 8 traits of the great entrepreneurs, where we grade each one of our guests on 8 single traits. One starting with the end in mind, passionate about their cause, unlimited amounts of resilience, they master relationships with people, commercial awareness, they innovate so they don't evaporate, they're master marketeers, they stay teachable and curious. Okay, so we have a leaderboard over here over the screen, and we've just put on the top 12 at any moment in time. So number 1, starting with the end in mind. Oh, actually,
No, don't think so.
He's not sure where he's going. He's just sure that he wants to be super successful.
He don't need to know
I'm giving him half a point, Joe. Because he didn't say to me, I want this to be X, Y, Z. Passionate about their cause. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to queue up and buy his stuff, whatever. Number 3, untold amounts of resilience. Has he been tested yet?
I don't think he's been tested.
That second shop could not be as profitable as he may think all year round. He ain't going to be doing 150 grand every month like he done in that one-off pop-up for Christmas. It was new, it was unusual. That's why lots of companies do pop-ups. So I'm going to give him half a point for that as well. Untold amounts of, their master relationships with people.
I think he got to if you're...
He must have. He's convinced a big shopping centre to give him a shop with probably no accounts. So. Yeah. Number 5, commercial awareness. He knew about percentages but
a bit, but I think he was a bit when he said, "Oh yeah, we generally add 30% on top," and you were like, "That's not very much."
They innovate so they don't evaporate. He is an innovator. I give him that. Do you think? Yeah, he knows what he needs to do. Yeah. They're master marketeers.
Absolutely. That website. If you haven't look at it, there's a link in the show notes or the show description. Go check it out.
But I only want to give him half a point. And I'll tell you for why.
What?
I'll tell you for why. Because, I don't want to be on camera. Just get over yourself. Yeah, I remember when I was speaking to Daniel Priestley about that. So what if out of entrepreneurs don't want to be on camera? He just went, just get over yourself. Especially in the space he's in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's got to be.
Content marketing works for some businesses way more than others, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For this is podcast, YouTube,
unboxing,
emails.
TikToks, yeah. Fine. Don't give him nothing.
No, half, because the website is flipping. For a first go.
The brand that they built around it is very good.
And the Stay Teachable and Curious, have a whole point for that. Cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is that?
It is.
For a 19-year-old, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 5.5.
Yeah, but the
No, hang on a second.
Well, you work out your maths.
2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6. It's 6.
Dirty finger for that as well. There you go.
I mean, ladies and gents, if you are watching here on YouTube, you'll see it going up here on the leadership board. Can I just say that we're just displaying the top 12 here, but usually people get 4.
Top 14.
Top 14. But usually, JB, people are on the 4s and the halves and the 5s, aren't they? We are strict about this. Yeah. We are strict. We don't just go, you're an 8. And we've only ever given 1 8. We've only ever given 1 8. Yeah. And I think he should be very, very happy at 19 scoring a 6.
He's done good. He's done very well.
And like, I think you would agree with me that if we did this in 10 years' time, he'd be an 8, wouldn't he?
Oh, 100%.
Because he's just building the strings to the bow right now.
Building the skill set. Reps and sets. We say this a lot. Reps and sets. And he's already getting them in at 20 years old.
I'm so proud of him.
Doing retail.
If he was my son.
You should do a YouTube special.
Yeah.
You should go up there. You go up there? I'll get my pal Paul. He'll fly in his little plane. Do you like little planes?
No, I don't. I don't even like big planes.
Oh, of course you don't. Yeah. Makes you feel airsick whenever I go in that plane with him. But you get there in no time.
How often do you go in the plane with him? Little pop plane.
Yes. I've been in it 4 or 5 times.
Where'd you go?
I've been to Goodwood twice in it. That's good fun on a race day. I went to Wales once for a meeting. That's when I found out I got airsick. And
how long? So you went from where to where?
Essex, North Weald,
North Weald, yeah.
To Wales.
How long did it take to get there?
Hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, so that is remarkably quicker.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker. Yeah, Goodwood, we did it in 40 minutes on a race day when you're queuing up to get in for an hour and a half. Yeah, it's really quick.
But
I am not for the skies, I found out. Yeah.
Oh, I've done one of them. And they're you can easily push them, can't you?
Oh,
When they're on the ground, I'm like,
yeah.
I shouldn't be able to push this.
Yeah.
And
Our mutual pal Polston, Will the pal Polston, he's learned to fly a plane. I'm surprised he's not had you up in it yet.
No. I asked the wrong question before I got up in this plane. So how much is one of these going to cost? Hoping that millions would come out of their mouth. I mean, 50 grand, you can get one of those. You're taking me up in something that I can afford. So when I go on a Virgin or a BA plane, they're 250 million quid. That's the sort of thing I want to be flying in. Stuff that's, big money, that's got walls that are this thick.
But Paul said it to me. So he's like, everyone wants to know, like it's dangerous to get in a little plane. He's like, I also want to come home. Like, I also want to get back.
Yeah. Do you have faith that he knows what he's doing?
Oh, he's a very good pilot. Yeah, he's very, very good.
Because that'd be my worry.
I wouldn't go out with Poston. I'm not going out with Poston yet. get a few more hours under his belt.
I'd go out with Will more than me. I'll tell you, because I've got something to tell you. I haven't put any fuel in this, or there's no oil. My God, I forgot to put the propeller on.
I wouldn't trust you one of them. Lots of things I trust you with, not a plane, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway, go and check out the brilliant brand Perfect footwear.co.uk, I think he said it was.
What a perfect business to have on the show.
Oh, that's very good. Any more puns?
Yeah. I was trying to think of a shoe joke.
We try to shoehorn it in.
Yeah,
that didn't work, did it? Business masterclass. Still tickets available? Got a few of them?
Yeah, if you would like to come and see, hang on a sec. If you would like to come along to my business masterclass, which is our big 2 day.
What are you Googling now?
Shoe jokes. I thought we'd get one in, but I thought, no, I can't do business masterclass. You look for a shoe joke.
Look for a shoe joke.
I think we should finish on a shoe joke.
Yeah, we definitely will.
If you would like to come see me live, JB's going to be there. He's doing a keynote presentation on I don't know what, probably why you shouldn't fly with him.
With James Sinclair.
Or me. But if you'd like to come along to Business Masterclass, if you've got 2 days and a few £100, you're going to absolutely love this. It's our big 2-day master event in the great city of London. And we're going to be doing lots of things. How to import products from around the world, how to raise finance, how to get your business ready to sell, buying companies, building great profitable teams, and you're going to be in the room with super entrepreneurs that really want to drive forward with their aspirations. These are people that are just brilliant. And if you are in that 10% of driven people, and you think, 90% of people don't think like me and don't behave like me, then this is the event for you. And for a few £100, it's a flipping bargain. You can get your websites at jamessinclair.net, or there's a link in the video description. Can I have a shoe joke now?
Of course you can. Are you ready to leave straight after this?
Yeah.
Because I don't know where do shoes go to get fit? Boot camp.
That's good. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are watching on YouTube, and make sure you review us if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I'm James Sinclair, and you've been
James Burt. Thanks for listening.
See you soon, gang. Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business. If you're loving the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking here. And why not give this one a watch? I think you'll like it.